Good morning and welcome to another live one-on-one chat. And this time our speaker is somebody who is very well known. And what I'm going to tell you right now is so important because today's topic is mind is medicine. You know, we at Outdoor Wilderness and Learning, OWL, as part of our effort to help individuals and organizations make sense of this new world, we at OWL are conducting a series of one-on-one interactive chats with eminent speakers and personalities who share their perspective on life, wellness, and business. So again, today's topic is Mind is Medicine. And it's my honor and privilege to introduce Dr. Mickey Mehta. You know, Dr. Mickey Mehta has been a leading global holistic health guru and a corporate life coach for 38 years to billionaires, Bollywood superstars, top politicians, and several Miss Worlds and Miss Universes. He has had the rare distinction of having trained police, army, navy, and air force personnel. Dr. Mickey Mehta has been invited to speak at Harvard University, IIMs, IITs, and other coveted universities across the world. This is simply outstanding and brilliant. And you know, by the way, Dr. Mickey is the first personal trainer of India. And he has a lot of other first accolades. The first fitness columnist and the first fitness TV and radio presenter in India. And he still continues to educate us on these channels and he continues to inspire us. Today in our OWL one-on-one session, we'll be interacting with Dr. Mickey Mehta about his passion for promoting health and happiness. And of course, mind is medicine. So let me introduce you to Dr. Mickey Mehta.
Get maximized, your get optimized, your get naturalized, exercise, let your life get Mickey Mice, Mickey Mice, Mickey Mice, Mickey Mice, Mickey Mehta's, your workouts.
The global leading holistic health guru, भारत में इक्विपमेंट फ्री ट्रेनिंग के अग्रदूत, 24 घंटों में स्विमिंग सिखाने के विश्व रिकॉर्ड होल्डर, भारतीय टेलीविजन और रेडियो पर वेलनेस को लाने वाले पहले शख्स, वेलनेस जॉनर में सोशल मीडिया की बादशाह, होलिस्टिक हेल्थ कैटेगरी में विकिपीडिया पर आने वाले एकमात्र एशियन जिन्होंने ट्रेन किया है बॉलीवुड के सितारों को, बड़े बड़े रईसों को, जाने माने नेताओं को और मुंबई पुलिस को, जिन्होंने भारत को कई मिस वर्ल्ड और मिस यूनिवर्स दिए, भारत के सबसे बड़े होलिस्टिक हेल्थ पोर्टल के संचालक, an author, a philosopher, an institution, the brand, the dream life coach, the legendary Mickey Mehta.
Good morning, Dr. Mickey Mehta. How are you?
Very well, fine, thank you.
Pleasure, real pleasure. You know, I mean, I still remember the last time when you were in our office and it was so full of energy, you know. I mean, you are like a young 20-year-old or much more actually younger, I believe in.
Absolutely.
So
18 till I die. or I shall never die.
This is simply brilliant. You're such an inspiring personality. You know, audience, by the way, Dr. Mickey Mehta was the recipient of the Health and Wellness Icon of India awarded by Economic Times. And he's also among the 100 most impactful wellness leaders of the world, as announced at the Global Wellness Conclave 2018. You know, and books, we all love books, even in today's world. Could be e-books, Kindle books, physical books, though, I mean, I and Dr. Mickey Mehta, and I'm sure a lot of the audience loves physical books. Dr. Mickey Mehta has written many books, and he's been the author of two very successful books, The Shunyam Quotient and Lose Weight, Gain Shape. Many, I said, because 5 to 6 more books are in the pipeline. And another major feather in his cap is he is the only one in India to have an honorary double doctorate in holistic health and life sciences for integrated medicines, you know. So Dr. Mickey, it's really, really a pleasure, and we would love to be inspired by you. Mind is medicine. Tell us what do you actually mean? Such powerful words, you know?
So we've often heard that it is the mind which destroys mankind.
Yeah,
Now, this is the opposite. Mind can be man's medicine as well. If mind can become a tool of destruction, mind as well can become a tool, a medium for creativity. So, why does mind become a tool for destruction? Because mind is divided in duality, and in this duality also there are millions of scattered pieces, tits and bits of information coming through our five senses, coming through our past, coming through the apprehension of the future, coming through worries, fears, phobias, insecurities, despair, emotional resentments, hate, and our seven sins: pride, anger, lust, envy, gluttony, avarice, sloth, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mad, maya, matsara. So mind can be destroyed by that, but when your mind is put together, pieces by pieces, back together, it can become a necklace of emeralds, pearls, diamonds, gems, all in one, ekjut, kevalya, absolute. And that probably, when your five senses come together, it is called common sense. Also, we say that mindfulness, what is this mindfulness about? Empty the mind of junk and filled with light of awareness, light of consciousness, which is 360-degree perception and 360-degree perspectives, profundities and beyond the sky, and laterally also to infinity. So that could be the potential of every mind. Have you heard about a concept called meta-humans? We certainly know what gods are, but meta-humans also. So they become the co-creator of their own destiny. You become the manifester. You are the mechanics of manifestation embodied, personified. We have legs to walk towards our destiny, hands to make it, eyes to see it, heart to believe it, mind to perceive it, and a soul to achieve it. This is how mind can become medicine, becoming the choreographer of your own change.
brilliant. Really, really. I mean, you articulated it. Mind is medicine so fabulously. You know, as you're aware, this pandemic has been one of the most challenging period for mankind. Both physical and mental wellness has been impacted. You know, due to the not just due to the thin dividing line between work and home, as most of us continue to work from home, yet this has led to mental stress, lack of physical well-being. You know, what could you suggest as an action-based routine that people should follow daily? You know, as per you, this should be the routine that you follow, simple and powerful.
I think stress can become a genesis for success if stress has to be used very creatively and optimistically. It is said that creative and productive use of imagination leads you to success, and negative use of imagination builds a lot of stress and destruction. So I would say that stress comes to all of us. Like a boat in the ocean will become unstable with every big wave and a tide, and tsunamis might overturn it sometimes. But to remain calm in that boat, in that wave, in that tide, because no wave, no tide, no tsunami is permanent. And it is said that, there was a monk, a small story, a monk in a high rise in Japan. 80 to 90 stories building, and on the highest floor there was a discourse going on, a Zen master. And suddenly there were 50 plus people and they felt the tremors of the earthquake. It keeps happening in Japan. And the monk was talking with his eyes shut. And slowly, every participant left and they disappeared. 45 minutes down the line, when the tremors settled, they all came back and sat in the same position. And master started talking again. Once the master was done, the first question which came to the master was that, sir, when there were tremors and when there was earthquake, we all ran to safety. Why did you stick around? So the master said, wherever you escaped, the tremors were still there. Where I escaped, there were no tremors. So he was centered. So when your mind is completely centered, it is void of stress. On the circumference, all the negativities of stress are there. So when a human remains centered in the calm, a rocking boat will not seem rocking. It will be a passing event, a scenery which is not permanent. Because life is transient. Everything is moving. That is why we say, this too shall pass. And the wise always know that being in the center will make you the observer, the witness, the sakshi, to optimize from the situation. Once the tremors, the turbulence, everything settles. Now coming to how to deal with it. How do you become such? You become such when your point of reference in life goes inwards. And your point of reference in life is not outwards, where there is change. Inwards is the non-change factor. Kichal mein kamal ki bhati. So the non-change factor of the lotus is that it is unaffected, unfazed by the muck around. Even the splashes of the muck around. If somebody were to throw a stone. So internal referencing while sitting quietly, allowing your breath to come back into rhythm each time it gets staggered with thoughts and fears and resentments and anxieties and phobias, apprehensions and hate. And most importantly, praying, chanting and becoming one, absolute. You become integrated when you are being and not doing. You get integrated into wholeness when you sit quietly and allow your breath to fall into rhythm. And then the shift of consciousness of disturbance will move towards bliss. As your rhythm is restored of your circulation and your heart and your lungs, the consciousness shift will also come to bliss from being perturbed and disturbed. So that's number one. Number two, breathing practices. Slow breathing practices, anulom vilom, or simply breathing in, breathing out like a wave, slowly in, slowly out. And mingling with the elements, because they tell you, like a yogi learns from a tree how to let go. The leaves, the flowers, the fruits. A yogi learns from the rivers and oceans how to flow. A yogi learns from the earth how to grow, how to proliferate, how to celebrate. A yogi learns from the sun how to illuminate. Now, when this understanding is of the larger perspective, then the elements of fears, phobia, stress, anxiety, despair, they disappear. Because your point of reference is vast, eternity, infinity, and not the change that you see. Because you see when there is a change, there will be a restoration too. When there is a break, there will be an amendment too. And you will be watching the change. And at the right time, you will choreograph the change. So you will know when to bow and let the storm pass, and you will know when to stand again and course correct. So yoga,
So,
eating well, and eating well, nourishing, vegetarian. You know, originally Sikhs were vegetarians.
yeah,
It is the influence of the northwest region, I think so, northwestern frontier, about which brought the influence of tandoori chicken and murga and lamb
yeah.
and everything. But originally, Punjabis, Sardarjis were all vegetarians. So a vegetarian diet is also sattva gun. It translates into peace, bliss, confidence, conviction. It translates into good thoughts, good words, good deeds, positivity, optimism. It translates into sympathy, empathy, compassion, philanthropy. It translates into confusion getting dissolved, clarity emerging, lethargy getting dissolved, inspiration emerging, and eyesight getting dissolved and vision emerging. And of course, the status quo getting dissolved and creativity and productivity emerging. So the ways of life of yoga, breathing, Rishi Munis, vegetarian food, and going by the cycles of nature will certainly keep you stress free.
Yep. So, would love it if you can show the audience one simple breathing exercise, as a takeaway. One simple breathing exercise, something yet simple yet powerful. If you can actually showcase it, yeah.
Okay. So one symbol is
Anything, simple breathing exercise that you could, showcase to our treasured audience, that this is something you should do daily. Wow.
so you breathe rhythmic in a wave, become a wave of breath. You're going in smoothly, coming out smoothly. There is a rhythm. Your stomach comes out, stomach goes in. It's a wave. Everything becomes a wave. And wave generates energy, and energy generates vibratory frequencies. And these vibratory frequencies integrate you with the vibratory frequencies of the cosmos. Because at your navel level, when you breathe in and out, there is vagus nerve going by, and stimulation of vagus nerve, which is now called polyvagal theory, which integrates your whole functions, systems, organs together, and that in turn synchronizes with the cosmos, and the circadian rhythm gets synchronized with the cosmic rhythm. So the oneness at every level keeps happening, and of course stress is alleviated, confidence, vision, creativity, bliss, happiness, joy, compassion, all comes in with the flow and with the rhythm. Conserve your body, preserve your breath, establish the rhythm, and be in the flow.
Brilliant. So, Dr. Mehta, what would you, just a simple common advice for a common person, do's and don'ts, like you said, be a vegetarian. So many of us, majoritarily in the world, are non-vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian myself, but many are non-vegetarian, yet they are fit, healthy, happy, and strong. So, the switch sometimes, people, one belief tennis takes time. It's a matter of eating habits. So simple daily routine, even regularly. Today's world, pandemic is, we call it the new world. Yet, what could be the simple do's and don'ts that a person should implement in their daily routine? Like you showcased a lovely breathing exercise. Then you showcased that go inwards and stay calm. Just simple do's and don'ts that avoid doing this.
Simple do's and don'ts. Common sense. Exercise every day. Common sense. Isn't that common sense? If you
Yeah.
eat 5 times a day, I'm talking about extreme cases, 7 times a day. So exercise once a day. जो एक बार खाए वो योगी, जो 2 बार खाए वो भोगी, जो 3 बार खाए वो रोगी, और बार बार खाए वो बड़ा रोगी, महारोगी. So anyway, so once a day you can eat a proper cooked meal in the afternoon, and otherwise you can have your fruits, your salads, your soups, your vegetable juices, your fruit juices, your coconut water, your dry fruits, your wholesome snacking will do. Dry fruits will do, fruits will do. They are the best way of complementing meals, supplementing meals in your hungry times otherwise. So exercising every day, is it simple or difficult? It's a no-brainer. When President Bill Clinton could find time to do everything he wanted to do in his office, being the busiest office of the world, of America, we all can find time to do things we want to. Self-love is very important. Rajinder, self-love is so important. But at the same time, become selfish. Serve yourself so well so that you can serve the world better.
Wow, it's too powerful.
There is a paradox in this, but nevertheless. Okay, taking sunshine every day is very important. And first thing in the morning, go at the window and breathe deep. Have breath for breakfast. Soak yourself in the sun. Nourish yourself with the chirping of the birds. Look at the vast expanse of the sky and feel that the new day comes with infinite possibilities. So what is life? Life is possibilities. For people who live in doubt, they live in ignorance and darkness. For people who live in faith, they live in light. Because faith opens up perspectives, deepens the perceptions. Faith makes your life possible. Because faith opens your mind and doubt constricts your mind. So simple things I said: meditate, pray, exercise, eat vegetarian, eat only when hungry, and eat your last meal by 6:37, rather 6:30, and try and sleep by 10:30, 11.
Awesome. Yeah, sure. I mean, try and sleep early, breathe in the morning and take fresh air plus the sunlight and simple such, you said breathe before your breakfast. Such simple things, and the breathing exercise which you spoke about, and eat less. Don't overeat.
Eat
That's
submaximal.
simple. Yeah.
I would say that...
Will you repeat something? You said something very lovely, very powerful. You said eat?
Submaximal.
Yeah.
Consume food, don't get consumed by it. Eat not for your greed, but for your need. Lust is driven by appetite, and appetite is driven by lust. But need is driven by hunger, and hunger is driven by need. So fulfill your hunger, not your appetite.
Awesome. Very well said. There's something very true. I wanted to ask you an interesting question in terms of the way you have really, really come up over the period of years. And I still remember, in the non-internet age, when reading about how you used to teach people swimming, and that was really amazing. So what has been the most challenging situation in your life, if any, something, I know there's something personal, but we all can learn from it.
So the ups and downs of businesses, bad decision making when it comes to closing down businesses, when it comes to not retrenching staff, when it comes to not cutting salaries in time, not pulling back in time, when it comes to being very liberal with partners and allowing them to cheat you. So those times have been very challenging. But I'm still like that. Some people just don't change. So, and those challenging times are today too. But that's okay. Vaheguru da Khalsa, Vaheguru di Fateh. Jo bole so nihal, Sat Sri Akal. So living by righteousness and integrity makes you overcome it. The flow is there, work keeps coming. वो भेजते रहता है यार, वाहेगुरु सबका पेट पालता है, वो ताकत देता है. So somewhere I've corrected myself, somewhere I've still remained old, stupid Mickey. Doesn't matter. I'm happy to be that way.
Great, because you're in love with yourself, like you said, so important.
I'm in love with the world. I love
World.
people. I love to share. I feel everybody's together, everybody's connected. And if I keep missing that point, I keep course correct myself and connect immediately.
Yeah. There's a very important question somebody from the audience has thrown up. They said, can aging and challenging ailments be reversed? If so, how?
So yes, my specialty is reversing aging, especially for corporate honchos with super specialty in sports, those who wish to pursue sports and have an anatomy of 25, being 55, being 60. So I've achieved that with very many. In fact, the one good very example is Mr. Anil Ambani. In a year and a half or so, almost he lost around 44, 45 kilos. And I was blessed to be a part of it. And of course, I think without his dint of hard work and without his enthusiasm, this wouldn't have been possible. And then I've trained many such corporate honchos for sports excellence and for personal fitness also. There have been some people who started very late at 45 workouts. And it took me 3 years to bring them back to, their biological and physiological and anatomical age to 25, 30. But it's possible to reverse. And then it's possible to maintain. And reversing of ailments, yes, I work with very many cancer patients. I work with the laws of nature. I use breath as medicine, food as medicine, herbs as medicine. I use air, water, fire, ether, earth as medicine. I use sleep, meditation, prayer as medicine. I use attitude of optimism as medicine. I use psychology and emotional transformation as medicine. And of course, I use loads of herbs and the systems of Ayurveda. So Panchakarma, acupressure, Abhyangam, Nasyam, Shirodhara, okay, Vaman, Virechan, and there are many other things. Not only we can reverse the most fatal and life-threatening ailments, but we can make them younger again and make sure. So I work with people where they call me and say, look, if you see 10 generations from now, 5 generations had cancer. So how do we make sure that we don't get it? So I use the science of epigenetics. I use the science of brain plasticity, neuroplasticity. I use the science of telomeres, telomerase, mind-gut axis. And then we make sure that those genes will never be switched on in the current race, current generation. And you can also make sure that they will not be passed on. So we can work to that level also. So today modern science is validating it. So, and my results have been 95, 99%. That 0.45%, which I probably have not accomplished, it's because they didn't follow whatever I said. And they didn't have faith. They did things with doubt. You can't drive your car with your 1 foot on the brake and 1 foot on the accelerator.
Yeah, so rightly said. You know what? We would, you have, I read about it. You said, reverse your universe. This is about aging and challenging ailments can be reversed. Reverse your universe. We would love to, jointly hold a workshop with you. OWL and Dr.
I'll be happy. I'll be happy to.
Great pleasure. Since the Wanderers and OWL have been serving corporate clients since the last 20 years. Yeah. We would love to come together to create a powerful, positive impact.
So in fact, I'm launching this Reverse Your Universe first at Four Seasons Bombay, then at Four Seasons Bangalore, and then most likely with my friend Jimmy Mystery at his Della Adventure. And further on, then I'll be taking it to ITC group and maybe other groups later.
Yeah. So that's where we come in as your...
Okay, by the way, I also did the Reverse Your Universe last year in the month of October on Caribbean cruise liner.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it was like 2,000 people were on board, and myself and Mr. Brar, we were there, Chef Ranveer Brar, And for 4 days, we had a lovely time training people, breathing, meditation, exercising, eating healthy, laughing, pranayam. And I made them do pranayam with Antakshari. So I make things very interesting. Then we had sunrise, we had sunset meditation, and aligning our energies with the waves of the ocean and the planetary movements, and smelling of flowers, and tasting pomegranate juice. So, stimulating your senses, etc.
So very interesting questions have come in. There's a from the audience called Rajesh Hemdev. He says, anything that can help in inducing undisturbed sleep?
Rajesh Hemdev, is he
Yeah.
from Procam Sports, if I'm not mistaken?
No.
Okay. That is
I don't
probably
know.
that's probably
I think
Jiten.
Rajesh Hemdev, I know he's been my classmate since, so I
Acha,
can
acha,
recognize the name. Yeah.
okay. Okay, so what were you saying? What was the question?
Anything that can help in inducing undisturbed sleep?
Inducing, if you're struggling with it, don't struggle with it. Any effort to sleep is going against sleep. Because for sleep, you have to stop doing and start being. You don't have to do things to sleep. But if at all you want an aid, like a good chamomile tea with little bit of saffron and slight, I would say, nutmeg, really calms you down. And maybe one pinch of jaggery will calm you down completely. And a hot shower 2 3 hours before 2 hours before sleeping, and a meal by 6:30 will really help you sleep better. And dimming your lights at least an hour before sleeping. Loads of laughter, singing, prayer, meditation also help. A family connect time also helps. Switching off your devices an hour before helps. And people who are very rich and wealthy don't get sleep because they don't 100% people will get sleep. You come to cities, 70% people don't get sleep. They take psychiatric medicines, sleep medicines. 65% of urban USA is on psychiatric medicine. These are the stats I read some time back. And most of them are on sleep medicine also. And India is catching up, not way too behind.
Yeah.
Work hard,
Well,
exercise very well, play a sport, sing songs, and you don't have to worry, sleep will come.
yeah, so well, well said. And on the exercise front, there is a question from Sunita Saraf asking, how aggressive can a 55 plus year old person be in exercise and fitness if they have not done it before?
Why would you want to be aggressive? Don't be violent with yourself. An exercise is a celebration, not a punishment. It is an intimacy, a bonding with you and yourself. It is recreation, it is creativity. So don't be aggressive. Number one, enjoy your exercise and don't punish yourself. And exercise also submaximal. Don't eat like an animal, don't exercise like an animal, like a human. 25, 30, 45 minutes, slowly, aram se, breathing in, breathing out, stretch, contract, limber, yoga, functional training, Pilates, and some light weights if you want to. Go to the park, go to the seaside, go to your society garden, step out or go to the window, go to the balcony and enjoy your workout. Be creative with your workout. Don't be like a machine doing routines. Be creative. Okay, cars are born on assembly lines exactly the same. All human bodies need not look the same, as if they were manufactured on assembly lines. We are individuals, indivisible dualities. Indivisible. Dual means duality. Although we are duality, yet we are one. Yet we are profound. Yet we are bound.
Brilliant. There's another very apt question for Farzana from Nagpur is asking, can yoga be used to treat conditions like IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, which can't be treated with medicines? Do you also do such treatments?
Yes, IBS is not very easy to fix, but if one is disciplined and due diligent, yes, it can be completely sorted. Takes around 4 to 6 months. And yoga is the only way of life which addresses the correction, restoration, and repair of your organ functions. Weight training will never help that. A weight training can never repair, restore your organ functions, your livers, your kidney. Weight training cannot restore it. It might even further damage it. Yoga is the only, so what I do see the constitution needs, then constitution specific food, constitution specific yoga, constitution specific exercise, even constitution specific breathing and meditation, even constitution specific emotional and psychological therapies. Everything has to be very customized. Only then you can get a person back to life, where modern medicine says not more than 3 months the person will live. And now I have people, my friends, my patients who become my friends, who are now living for 14, 15 years without any trouble.
Yeah.
Everything constitution specific. Everything can be fixed. Everything that you've spoiled, have faith. All that is lost shall be restored. All that is broken shall be mended. Your belief can change your biology. Your faith can change your physiology. Your breathing can change your hormonology. Meditation and prayers can change your emotions and psychology. And emotions and psychology are the biggest tools of healing, which I use the most when I do counseling with people.
Awesome. Anything, Dr. McKee, any kind of a herb or something that you would prescribe for IBS, something?
I never give prescription en masse.
Okay. Yeah.
For a simple reason, one man's medicine could be other man's poison. So what happens is that we say that Giloy is very good for very many things. But if you start administering Giloy to particular constitutions, they must start throwing up.
Oh.
And the beauty is that one of the properties of Giloy is to stabilize the equilibrium of your stomach. But if not consumed properly and by a Vipreet constitution which is not supposed to consume Giloy at a particular time. So time for consumption of herbs, in which condition of your wellness, when to bring a particular herb in, at what level of cleansing, regulating and fortifying. So this is a science. This has to be understood universally and individually, constitutionally, specific, customized. Only then you can reverse the ailments, 100%.
And the simple breathing technique, what you store, that can be done. The simple breathing.
That could be used for restoration of all diseases, all ailments. 15 to 20%, you will fix it there. Other 20% with your food correction, that too also. Constitution specific, blood group specific. When I'm dealing with terminally ill people, I get into blood group specific. Then personality specific, nature specific, character specific. Because then Ayurveda gets into your psychosomatic being. So when you're dealing with person who's going to die, you have to get into all these specificities and turn around the wheels.
Somebody has asked a question. This is Pooja from Mumbai. What would you advise for children who are at home due to the pandemic? I know this is a broad question. But what would you advise?
With them. Play with them. Make them play with you. You play with them. Give them lots of hugs. Show them the changing world. Ask them not to be scared of anything in life. Tell them that you start counting your blessings always. You have a home to live, a bed to sleep, a toilet to pot on, a shower to take a bath in. You have food on your table every day. You have parents looking after you. There is so much of love, laughter, happiness. There's nothing to be sad about. And then make them realize that there are some parts of the world where there is pain, there is suffering. But let's pray for them. But don't get affected by the pain and suffering. Pray for them. Don't feel sad for them. Pray for them. Don't feel sorry for them. Pray for them, meditate for them.
Well, very well said. I hope that answers the question. Uh, Sanjay Agarwal asks, something very interesting. He himself is teaching yoga to seniors, and he's practicing mindfulness. He has a blunt question. It's about an impression that has been formed recently, which he says that often I have come across a perspective which says mindfulness and mind body thing is for the affluent, and it's a sherry chuckle, so it's more like, why has this impression come about that it's meant only for?
Let us go back a few thousand years in the history of India. So there were kings, okay? And kings had their own, they had their subject, people. Now, kings had everything to their disposal. And otherwise, people were very poor. Now, kings had music, art, poetry, culture, fashion, food, entertainment, recreation. And when kings realized that none of these fulfilled us, they rose higher to spirituality. Till a person realizes that there is no meaning in all these things, it's very difficult for the person to rise in spirituality. Until such a time, a person is only asking. But only kings who had everything and understood that everything is meaningless, something happened. A quantum leap happened and said, this is meaningless. Now let's go higher in fulfillment. Nothing of this can ever fulfill me now. I'm filled with everything. So they rose to spirituality. So because a poor is struggling so hard every day, his spirituality is prayer of asking. But a rich man's spirituality is spirituality of evolution. But that doesn't mean some poor people haven't realized this. There are many a poor who are wise, who are trupt, who are content, who have vairagya, who have swikriti, who embrace ritambara pragya. Those who are not hankering for more, and those who are extremely happy and in bliss today, such poor people also elevate in spirituality.
Yeah. Since you've been at it, there's another question from Farzana asking, this kind of positive attitude and love that you have, how can others get that too?
You and me, we all have it inherently as human beings. The more you are connected to your instincts, your consciousness facing downwards, the more you will be connected to fight, flight, food, and fornicate. 4 F's. Because your focus of life is drawn by fear, phobia, so fight, flight. Survival, so food. And procreation, so fornicate. But when you disconnect from your instincts, when you are satisfied and fulfilled, when you quieten yourself, calm yourself, embrace acceptance, swikriti, embrace vairagya, detachment from desires, that is the time your consciousness will disconnect from the down, from the kunda, and it will begin to face upwards. So it's a spiraling journey, which is why snake is symbolic of it. There is no real snake in your kunda. And the Kundalini Jagruti is actually an upward spiraling awareness of higher realities. Only if you disconnect from instinct. But the disconnect is not the disconnect of severing. The disconnecting is more towards upwards and less towards the instinct. Of course, you have to sleep by instinct. You have to wake up by instinct. You have to eat by instinct. But other things you have to do with awareness. You have to be creative. You cannot be creative with instinct. You cannot be productive with instinct because animals are not creative. Humans are creative. For that, you need consciousness and awareness and intelligence and intelligentsia and being connected to the cosmos. Taking downloads, picking up signals, interpreting them in the most appropriate way.
Awesome. There's a very, very apt question for today's time. This is asked by Farah from Mumbai. Teenagers, any tips for teenagers or the young working corporate crowd who have taken the COVID times very hard? Some have lost jobs, some have had pay cuts, and some keep working from small homes. It leads to a lot of high stress levels, and all said and done, despite what they would want to be in terms of overcome the fear, not worry about it, utilize the stress positively, yet many have lost their jobs, and some of the teenagers are staring at, they don't know what's going to happen to education today, tomorrow.
What's the opposite of loss? Tell me, Rajendra.
Yeah, it's gain. Yeah.
So life works in cycles.
Yeah.
What you lose, and when you are aware, is there something about to be gained from it? Okay. So when life takes away some opportunity, it is your opportunity to reinvent yourself. Chromosomal combustion is when stress happens and makes stress the catalyst for success.
Okay.
So use this opportunity to turn around things, reinvent things. Look out for opportunities coming up in the flow of things, in the scheme of things. Okay? And you can be the co-creator of your destiny. So there is a Rig Veda quote I will quote here. We are what our deepest desires are. As are our desires, so will be our will. As will be our will, so will be our intentions. As will be our intentions, so will be our deeds. And as will be our deeds, so will be our destiny. So, Karan is given by nature. Karya is in your hands. Karma is your dharma. Change everything. Be the choreographer of your own change. Then what is this COVID and all that nonsense? I mean, nothing. Our evolution, if you go back from Big Bang to now, is 14 billion years. And the life of a COVID-19 is not more than 14 days. What are we talking about? You are superior in consciousness. You are born to be a God. Krishna, Christ, Muhammad, Mahavir, Buddha, Mahadev. They were all humans only, no? Like you and me. But they became gods. Divinity is a principle, not a personality. A personality becomes the embodiment of divinity, an epicenter, an epitome of divinity. You and me can become that. So what are we talking about COVID? It's all nonsense. And job loss and pay cuts. Yeah. Flourish, prosper, that's your birthright. Death has no right on life. Death of any kind, not just bodily disease, death of job, death of any kind. Death has no right on life. Death is the culmination of dis-ease, disorder, decay. And that is the culmination of your choices. Change your choices. Be the choreographer of your change. Grow. Rise higher than gods. Don't fall below animals. Only a human has the potential to rise higher than gods. Or fall below animals. On the ladder of evolution. Evolution should be your only purpose of life, not weight loss. Let's not be stupid and idiotic in life. Let's not chase small dreams. Let's chase higher purpose instead of chasing dreams. Mark Twain said there are two most important days in man's life. One, the day you were born, and second, the day you realize why. Pursue the why.
This is something so immensely powerful. Pursue the why, realize the why. And continuing on that mindfulness, a follow-up question by Sanjay Agarwal. He said, you answered it so nicely, bluntly the point about mindfulness, and in an amazing way. He's saying, does that mean mindfulness is at the end of its cycle?
Well, mindfulness can happen to you here, now. There's no end of the cycle. Mindfulness has no beginning, it has no middle, it has no end. I am mindful completely as I'm with you. And if you're completely into me on the screen and all ears and everything, you are mindful too. So, mindful of being and becoming. Mindful while you're not doing anything, and mindful when you're doing things also. You're mindful and giving you 100% energy. That is how you become an alchemist. That's how you become a magician. That's how whatever you set out to do, when you do it 100% will happen. Because 100% energy focus, it's like laser. Penetrates, pinpoints, approaches, hits the target. So mindfulness makes you a heat-seeking missile. You have to strike gold.
Dr. Mickey, despite you, holding workshops and having such a busy life schedule, and of course a lot of learning that you keep doing continuously, you had recently joined to support the government's Fit India movement, and you partnered with the Bombay Stock Exchange, BSE, plus the Indian Drug Manufacturers Association, IDMA, to promote invincible health and infinite immunity for humanity in the COVID lockdown days. Can you share some insights? Number one is, how are you able to really find time, number one, and any insights on what you really did? Yeah.
So immunity is a small fraction of human health. But yes, it is a pillar of human health. So immunity is the equilibrium, homeostasis, where everything is in order. Immunity is about order. Dis-ease is about disorder. So the order comes when you wake up, when you sleep well, when you eat well, nutritious, vegetarian, seasonal, regional, by evening, not like an animal, exercise well, creatively, not like an animal, no punishing yourself, sleep deep, sleep happy, don't take your boss to bed, don't take your wife to bed, don't take anybody else to bed, sleep alone mentally, emotionally, breathe out your day, breathe out your week, weeks, months, years, life, and breathe out your lives before you sleep. Sleep like a daisy and wake up like a baby, or sleep like a baby and wake up like a daisy. So immunity is all about simple things. Immunity is nothing to do with vaccine. Vaccine is for the weak. Let's say in the next 50 years, if there are 50 more viruses, which will stay here because you give birth to them, humanity gives birth to it, and humanity allows it to proliferate because of the abuse of the environment, abuse of your inner and external environment. Will you take 50 vaccines every year? And when there is a plateau conditioning or a response to a vaccine, will you take it 2 a year, so 100 for 50 viruses?
Yeah. There's a simple question that which is so relevant. Habits of mind and lifestyle do not change easily. People slowly slip into bad routines. How do we bring about these changes specifically in these tough times, when it's more easy to give in?
So there's a dialogue in Sholay कि बुराई ने बंदूक चलाना सिखा दी, नेकी हल चलाना सिखा देगी. So what are your intentions in life? What are your objectives towards yourself and the higher purpose, higher reality? If that is to contribute and evolve, automatically these wrong habits will give way for creative, productive habits. I will not use the word wrong and right. I will say creative and productive habits. They will give way. अच्छा सोचो, सोच बदलो तो अदा बदलेगी, सोच बदलो तो कर्म बदलेगा, सोच बदलो तो धर्म बदलेगा.
Yes, we could really go on and a lot of questions, but I would like to tell the viewers is we at OWL are going to be having a workshop with Dr. Mickey Mehta very soon, and you'll be apprised about it. It'll be a pleasure to have you as all of you as part of our workshop. I mean, it's been an absolute delight listening to you today, Dr. Mickey. I mean, it is so immensely powerful, even just listening to you, looking at you across the screen, and you are a youngster. If you were to share one takeaway for all the viewers, what would that be today? Just one takeaway.
Okay, so I think my takeaway is a little lengthy. I have 10 commandments of wellness. So my commandment number 1 is let wellness be the religion number 1. Your religion number 1. Wellness unites, religions divide. Wellness cleanses you, purifies you, regulates you, vitalizes you, and integrates you. And so, very naturally, devotion will come to fore, and you will become a better Sikh, better Parsi, better Muslim, better Hindu, better Christian. You'll be more devout in your religion then. Number 2, join Mickey Mehta for wellness revolution for human evolution. Let's improve our human race. Number 3, best exercise for bicep is uplift the poor. Best exercise for shoulders is to take responsibilities of the underprivileged. Best exercise for strong legs is to be rooted in humility, to be better rooted in humanity. Sleep every night with a wish to heal yourself. Wake up every morning with a promise to heal the world. And then get energized, get naturalized, get maximized, get optimized, get internalized, get eternalized, get evolutionized, get revolutionized, get specialized into wellness, initialized, get regularized, get revitalized. With Mickey Mehta, get hypnotized, get mesmerized. All negativity neutralized to get Mickey-mized.
That's a great one. Thank you so much for the insightful talk. By the way, even I was surprised to learn and read about that you are an author, a poet, and philosopher, like you've all seen, the brand, and the institute and the legendary Dr. Mickey Mehta. You've heard him, who gets energized, naturalized, optimized,
and synergized.
and synergized, maximize. And, what you've done is you've Mickey-mized all our audiences. And thank you so much, Dr. Mickey Mehta, from the bottom of our heart. Thank you on behalf of the audience also.
Thank you so much.
We wish you good health and hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much once again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.